For us, we have a company that's very seasonal. It really takes a good relationship with a bank for them to understand the ebbs and flows of our business and the cash flow needs. We really value having a banker that comes here, sees the business, not only understands our financials, but understands the marketing plan behind it, how sales are going, our relationships with our customers, so that they have context to the financials.
Northern Initiatives is committed to entrepreneurs like you because you are the people who are creating jobs and enabling the communities of our region to thrive. After completing this training, you will be able to identify the banking services commonly available to a small business, including business checking, business debit cards and credit cards, financing receivables and purchasing inventory, financing fixed assets such as equipment and real estate, lines of credit, term loans, expanding business capabilities such as accepting credit, debit, and gift cards and enabling online payments, payroll processing, explain how these banking services work, identify the advantages and disadvantages of each of the banking services, and explain how small business owners decide which banking services are best for their business.
So to help with the process of identifying your banking needs, consider the following questions. Do I need to regularly pay employees or vendors? Do my customers generally pay me via check, credit card, electronic transfer, or in cash? Do I want to be able to download statements and transactions into a software program? Will I need to make deposits after banking hours? If so, do I need a night depository bag with locks or a remote deposit scanner? What are my cash needs? Does my business need a lot of change or small bills? What are the fees to buy cash from the bank? What are my loan needs? Will I need a line of credit or a minimum business loan to build credit? How helpful would it be to have a banker who understands any unique aspects of my industry or profession? Consider your business's unique needs and personal preferences when choosing the right bank and bank accounts. Do you need to make deposits into your account through an ATM after normal banking hours? You might depend upon online or mobile services for your business. Most banks will list their core products and minimum balance requirements on their websites. Ask the bank and yourself the right questions as you choose what's best for your needs. Perhaps you already have a relationship with this bank or know someone who's pleased with the bank's customer service. A good relationship with a key person at your bank can help you establish or increase credit, save you money in fees, and enhance your business opportunities through taking advantage of the banker's extensive personal contacts. Ask if the institution has a track record of catering to small businesses and how many small firms it serves. Find out if it has a special unit dedicated exclusively to small business needs. And ask yourself if the representative who meets with you seems genuinely interested in your business and the market you serve. Ask other small business owners about institutions they recommend. Having a good relationship with the bank is a great means to save money. Good communication about the financial state of your business helps avoid turning to costly solutions when emergencies come up. And this involves feeling comfortable with your banker and being willing to consistently share financial information, both good and bad. More about this later. Businesses spend hours or days going to the bank each year, so choose a bank that's accessible for you. Consider how close to your business you'd like the bank and how many branches it has in your service area. Can you perform night deposits safely? Evaluate the services of each bank you're considering by reviewing the bank's product brochures, funds availability disclosures, and fee sheets. Compare these to your business needs. And find out how you can get fees waived or at least keep them very low. How long does it take for checks to clear and funds to become available? Can the bank help you with payroll? Do you plan on doing international business and need a bank that can do overseas transactions? Spending time on this research can save you time and money in the future. The most important message we can deliver to you is to keep business and personal transactions separate. This is necessary for accurate record keeping, will help you at tax time, and may even be required depending on your corporate structure. If you're placing business funds into a personal account to avoid fees, change it. It's simply too difficult to separate transactions for bookkeeping purposes. In addition, checks payable to a business must be deposited to the named business account on the check. Finally, Banks monitor account activity for protection and reporting purposes, so you may be asked to move the funds to a business product if you use the same account for business and personal transactions. If you need to transfer funds to your personal account, the check should be payable to you or a transfer request should be made to your bank. This generates a record of the activity. Banks may have different names for their checking accounts, and the checking account products offered and their features differ. Ask for an account fee and information disclosure to learn about specific features, benefits, fees, and other legal information. A small business checking account will generally allow a limited number of free or low-cost transactions per month, including deposits and checks. This account usually has a lower minimum balance requirement than other business checking accounts. A commercial checking account is geared for a higher volume of transactions and has a larger minimum balance requirement. The bank assesses charges at the end of the statement cycle based on the number of checks written, deposits, number of checks in the deposits, cash purchased from the bank, remote capture scanner rent, and other fees listed on the bank's fee schedule. Also, at the end of the statement cycle, the bank may pay you interest or give you an earnings credit to offset fees. Once you open up your checking account, know the rules governing checks. In general, you can protect yourself from liability by securing your checks, thinking carefully about who in your business has access to blank checks, reviewing your statements when they arrive, or more frequently via online access, and reporting any problems to your bank immediately. Bank payroll services can help cut down on the number of checks issued and the potential for fraudulent or forged payroll checks. These services permit entry of payroll, retirement, and workers' compensation insurance payments, as well as federal and state taxes. Numerous reports can be generated for your records. The reports can include summaries for each employee, the entire payroll, or a history with date ranges and data filters. Payroll can be direct deposited to the employee's account, which can be an additional benefit of doing business with a particular financial institution. Make sure you review fees for these services in advance. Having a savings account helps to build a cushion for unexpected needs. Setting aside money also shows your lender that you are reserving cash. Two traditional accounts for setting aside money include savings accounts and certificates of deposit. Savings accounts have limitations on the number of withdrawals permitted each month. Ask the bank representative to explain the available types of savings accounts, any fees, and the rules that apply to how you can use the account. With the traditional certificate of deposit, or CD, you agree to keep the money in an account for a few weeks to several years. In return, the bank agrees to pay you a higher interest rate than you would receive from a checking or savings account. If you need to withdraw the money before the CD matures, you would pay a penalty. Most banks will require you to deposit at least $500 into a new CD, but some will allow you to open one with a smaller deposit. Online banking allows businesses to conduct nearly every facet of their banking business without entering the bank. However, authorization, viewing, and transaction limitations might apply. Banks set up access and issue keys for logins after the completion of authorization forms. One advantage of banking online is that information is normally updated throughout the day, so you can view account activity within minutes of the activity. Another advantage is that the front and back images of checks and previous statements are often available. This eliminates charges for services to provide copies of lost checks and past statements. When banking online, you want to take steps to avoid fraud. If your business becomes a victim of online theft, there is a chance that the money may not be recoverable and the bank may not be responsible for the loss. You should partner with your bank to create and maintain secure banking practices. Direct deposit, ACH debit and credit processing, and wire transfers provide for quick online transfer of funds. You can generate these from your office for purchases, transfers to other businesses, and to pay employees. Lockbox services permit you to focus on doing business while payments customers mail to you are processed by the bank. Your customers will send checks or other payments to a special address that the bank assigns to your business. The bank will process and credit them to your account and provide a record to you. Remote deposit capture. Don't feel like driving to your bank to deposit a check? Rather not spend the time and the money to mail it in? Some banks offer the ability to deposit paper checks electronically over the internet. What you need is a scanner to capture an image of the check and a personal computer to securely transmit the image online, or a cell phone equipped with a digital camera that can do similar duty. Known in the banking and technology industries as Remote Deposit Capture, or RDC, this service is mostly marketed to small businesses that typically are paid by check and want to be able to quickly deposit those payments. RDC allows you quicker access to the funds because checks deposited over the internet are generally available in 1 or 2 business days, as opposed to 5 business days for regular paper checks. The Business Debit Card allows your business to make online purchases or point-of-sale purchases without the use of credit. This card also allows for cash withdrawals at ATMs. If you're considering providing employees with debit cards, first discuss the card and its intended use with a bank representative to determine if your plan is feasible. The bank may suggest an alternative, such as a preloaded card from its credit card processor. If you decide to have a card issued, be aware of the risks. Using caution with debit cards will protect you from fraud and losses. While business credit cards can have some of these protections, business debit cards have none. Because federal law doesn't protect business debit cards, it's very important to understand the terms of your bank account agreement regarding liability for unauthorized transactions. State laws regarding commercial transactions may provide some protection, so consider asking an attorney for further information. If you lose or misplace the card, notify your bank immediately and review the transactions on your account statement as soon as it arrives and immediately report to the bank any possible errors or fraudulent activity. Your sales could increase by accepting consumer credit cards, and many banks and other non-financial vendors offer merchant processing services that allow your business to accept credit and debit cards. These services may include point-of-sale card reader terminals, marketing support, e-commerce payment processing, and gift or prepaid cards that can be loaded at your locations. Gift or prepaid cards function like electronic gift certificates that can provide advance sales and generate income during the holidays and on special occasions. If you're providing wholesale products, then merchant services may be able to establish an online system to receive payments from buyers, which can decrease the time from billing to receipt and improve cash flow. Find out if your credit card processing vendor has electronic integration with your accounting software. This can save time and reduce errors. Deposit accounts should be reconciled when you receive your monthly statement, but with online access, you may want to review your account activity even more frequently, perhaps daily. If you're having difficulty balancing the statement to your records or find discrepancies, contact your bank. If you find an error in your bank statement, contact the bank as soon as possible. Here are a few tips for reconciling your accounts. The amount encoded on the bottom right of a check should be the amount for which the check was written. Retain remote scanner software reports. Record the interest paid on loans each month to the profit and loss, and record the loan principal reduction to the balance sheet. This will save you time at year end. Check principal balances as well. Reconciling your accounts may mean investing time each month, but it's worthwhile to avoid the frustration caused by errors, fraud, or the need for research months later. In addition, it's important to understand your current financial standing and to avoid surprises, which can jeopardize the long-term success of your business. Even if you don't plan to use online banking, you need to be vigilant to avoid fraud and scams. Remember, unlike consumer electronic payments that are generally protected by federal consumer protection laws, the liability for business electronic payments are governed by contract and state law, which could leave your business liable for online theft. One very important step you can take to protect your business is to regularly monitor your account to look out for suspicious transactions. Report any questionable transactions to your bank as soon as possible. The faster a fraudulent transaction is identified, the better the chance that any lost funds can be recovered. Positive Pay and Debit Block Services. Positive Pay services, available at many banks, help protect your account from being subject to ACH and check fraud. You provide the bank with a list of expected ACH transactions and checks, along with the expected amounts and dates. Then, as items are processed, they are matched to the list. Mismatches will generate a notice to your office for payment approval. A debit block is another service offered by many banks that allow you to control whether or not an ACH debit transaction may be made against your business account. Small business owners typically need to borrow money to buy equipment, pay suppliers and employees, and otherwise finance their operations. Understand the different types of financing. For most small businesses, operations can be financed in the following ways. Rural businesses, and particularly those that do most of their business during certain seasons, need to be cautious in planning for their high and low cash cycles. Business lines of credit permit a business to borrow up to a certain dollar amount and repay it with interest per the terms of the agreement. Lines of credit may be a flexible way to build credit. Business owners should think carefully before borrowing on a line of credit. Consider how and when the business will generate revenue to repay the loan, and make sure you're not using a short-term financing tool to finance costly, long-term investments. Planning for your credit needs with a bank can save you a lot of money in the long term. Business term loans, which establish a set dollar to be repaid in installments over 3 to 5 years, on average, are commonly recommended for purposes such as financing the purchase of equipment or a vehicle. These loans often are secured by the asset that is purchased. Term loans mean predictable payments for businesses, but unlike lines of credit, a business may have to make a new application if it needs to borrow additional funds. The purposes for the loan will generally determine the length of financing. For example, term mortgages will normally be financed longer than a term loan for equipment so that the equipment is paid off before the asset depreciates from your asset schedule. Financing receivables or inventory. The financing of receivables and purchased inventory is repaid through cash receipts, but is evaluated on your ability to collect the receivables and on your business credit. Using a line of credit for financing receivables and inventory helps with cash needs due to seasonal fluctuations. In general, the amount loaned on receivables and inventory will not be 100%. Allowances are made for accounts not collectible and for inventory that may be discounted or damaged. Your bank can tell you the maximum they'll loan for this type of financing. Credit cards are a convenient option because they allow you to defer payment. That is, you will be using the card issuer's money, not your own, until you pay off the balance. Choose a credit card after carefully evaluating the interest rate, fees, and terms. Depending on the card, it may also offer rewards. Pay your credit card bill on time to build your company's credit record and avoiding paying interest on purchases. Additional cards can be issued for other users. This process may present a business risk. Be aware that your ability for unauthorized use of credit cards by a thief can be greater for business credit cards than for consumer credit cards. Other important facts to note about business credit cards. As with business banking accounts, don't commingle personal and business credit cards. Do not use credit cards to help with operating costs. Remember, a business credit card is not a line of credit, and it should be paid off each month. Start by having a well-prepared business plan showing how money will be earned, which can reassure lenders that a loan will be repaid. The business plan should also include an overview of your company, an explanation of its products or services, an explanation of your operations, a marketing plan, and the reasons your company or concept differs from the competition. Review your credit report and fix any errors or issues. If you've already been in business for a while, attach accurate financial statements, including a balance sheet, an income statement, and a cash flow statement. Be prepared to talk about your ratios, such as debt to worth, quick ratio, and current ratio. The financial performance of your business will have an impact on the terms of your loan, including the interest rate. Consider asking the bank about the following items before or at the start of the loan process: loan fees, processing time, interest rate spreads for different types of loans, maximum term for financing, balloon payments or call provisions, interest-only payments during startup, types of collateral or additional personal guarantee requirements, liens on a personal residence, Methods for dispersing the funds. Once you select the bank that will handle your banking needs, take time to develop a relationship with your banker, the loan officer, or manager who handles your account. A good relationship with a key person at your bank can help you establish or increase credit, save you money in fees, and enhance your business opportunities through taking advantage of the banker's contacts. Clear, frequent, open lines of communication are a necessary component of a strong owner-banker relationship.
For smaller companies in northern Michigan, where we're spread out a little bit further, I think those type of entrepreneurs and businessmen are more dependent on and have more needs for our lawyer and insurance and our bankers and that, because they end up playing different roles. And it's been, over the years, very important to have a super strong relationship with our banker, because if you develop that strong relationship, you get a lot more from them than just numbers or legal. We know that if we're close to them and they're close to us, that we're getting the most from each other.
We realize the success of your business directly impacts the success of your community and its people. So we push a little harder and we care a bit more, because it's not profit for us, it's prosperity for all.